Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we're gonna do a very easy stitch, one row repeat. I'm gonna use 4.0 millimeter crochet hook. For this stitch we're gonna chain even numbers. I have here 14 chains. We're gonna do a small sample. We're gonna skip the first 2 chains, and into the third chain we're gonna do a single crochet, and this row is gonna be single crochet in each chain. So next chain, single crochet. On this stitch, it's a very easy stitch. The only problem, well, for some of you, not all of you, might be that it's gonna eat a lot of yarn. So if you want to do like a scarf or a hat or infinity scarf, that might take some yarn. So in each chain we're gonna do single crochet for this row. This is a very fast going stitch. It has some well, at some point it's a little bit annoying, but you know, if you're gonna like this stitch, you're gonna put up with that. So first row, single crochet, we're gonna chain 1. I'm gonna show you where is the annoying part for some of you. Some of you will say, ah, no big deal. So the first stitch, we're gonna do a single crochet, chain 1. Into the next stitch we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and the third time. If you want the puff a little bit bigger, then you're gonna go for the 4th time if you like. Yeah? So now pull the yarn through all these loops, chain 1, and this is what we're gonna do until we finish this row. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next we're gonna do a puff. So once, go back again, second time, and the third, pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the next we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the next a puff. Chain 1, and again we're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next we're gonna do a puff. Always when we use puffs, it's gonna eat a lot of yarn. Chain 1, and now at the end we have 2 stitches left. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the last stitch we're gonna do only 1 single crochet. This stitch you're gonna start with a single crochet, and you're gonna finish with a single crochet at the end. It's gonna look like this. Okay, chain 1, turn your work, and now into the first stitch here we're gonna do a single crochet, chain 1, and now we're gonna work this row. We're gonna work into the stitches that we skipped from previous row here on the bottom. Yeah, so now we have here a stitch, this one. So yarn over the hook, we're gonna go through that stitch, and we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all these loops, chain 1. We're gonna skip this puff, and we're gonna go to the stitch below where we skipped previous row. So we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, and we're gonna do like this row. Skip this puff, and we're gonna go below to the stitch that we skipped, and we're gonna do a puff. Pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, skip the puff, go to the stitch between the puffs below, and you do a puff. Chain 1, So again, we're going to skip this puff and we go the stitch below the puffs on the bottom there. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, and now we have here at the end, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go directly to the end where we have the chain here, right there, yeah? And I'm gonna do a single crochet, chain 1, turn your work, it's gonna look like this. And from this moment forward, this is gonna be the row that you're gonna repeat on and on and on until you finish your project. So the first stitch is here, you're gonna do a single crochet, chain 1, and you have a space here between this puff and in here, yeah? So I'm gonna go below in here and I'm gonna do a puff. So once, twice, and the third time. Pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1. Now we're gonna skip this puff and we have the puff below, but here we have this space. I don't know if you can see between this puff and that one, we have a space here, right there. That is the space. So in there we're gonna put a puff. You're always gonna work one row below, yeah? So 2 and the third time. This is the annoying part. Chain 1, and again we're gonna skip this puff and we're gonna go between the puff from the first row and the second. It's a space in there, so you're gonna go in there and you're gonna place there a puff. You see, pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, skip the next puff, and you have that space in there, right there, and you're gonna place in there a puff. And this is this will cause the puffs to be tilted, yeah? So chain 1. So again, you're gonna skip the next puff and you have the space in there between this puff and this puff, one row below. So you place in there a puff, chain 1, and now at the end here you're gonna go right here at the corner, right there, and you're gonna do a single crochet, chain 1, turn your work. The first stitch is here, we're gonna do a single crochet, and we have a space here below between this puff and this single crochet at the end. So in that space, one row below this, right around here, in that space we're gonna do a puff, chain 1, again skip this, and you have the space in between this puff and this puff. You see the space right there, this one. So this is the annoying part for some of you, in which you're gonna place in there a puff, chain 1, skip the next puff, and you have the space right there. See, right there. Okay, skip the next puff, and the puff below, you're gonna see that space. Hey, what's wrong with that tail? Got somewhere in there. Pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, and again skip this puff, and you have the space there. So once, twice, and the third time, pull the yarn through all the loops, chain 1, and at the end here we're gonna go right there, and we're gonna do a single crochet, chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna repeat. Hey, get out of there. So this will be the, you know, like tilted. Yeah. Now if you want to close this, because you have these spaces here, you chain 1 when you finish that row. First stitch in here, you're gonna do a single crochet, and now you're gonna go in that space in which before you did a puff here in here. So you're gonna go into that space, and you're gonna do a single crochet. You're gonna go to this stitch, single crochet. You're gonna go where you're supposed to do the puff. You're gonna go in there, and you're gonna do a single crochet. You skip this stitch and you go to the next. You're gonna do a single crochet. So now you're gonna go below where you're supposed to do a puff. You're gonna do a single crochet. So you skip this and you move to this one, and do a single crochet, and you go below. You're gonna do a single crochet, skip this, and you move to this. You're gonna do a single crochet, and go below in that space, and do a single crochet, single crochet into the next, and single crochet at the end right there. See? Single crochet, chain 1, cut the yarn, and you're done. Yeah. So this is what we worked up until now. Well, it's somewhat reversible, the stitch. Yeah. So if you like this to work, to do a scarf or infinity scarf or a hat, you can make even a vest with this one, with this stitch. But it's quite thick, you know. So for a neck warmer, for a headband, you can do so many things with this stitch. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Bye bye.